how to make a graduation tassel. So I've got my block here all set up with some nails. This is what I call my little block. Now I've cut all of these strings to the length of the block that I'm using because I felt like that would be a long enough one. But this first string I'm going to lay underneath this second nail, and then the second string I am going to weave between these two nails and then lay it vertical. And those are my base ones that are going to be used for tying off my tassel. So then I grab some of my pre-cut strings all to the same lengths. I kind of got them all mixed together because I didn't care when I was throwing them into it. Now, there's a few different ways you can do this. You can just start laying them on here and kind of mix as you go. You can blend it down here on the table. Doesn't matter, but all these strings have been cut to that same length, which is extra long, longer than what I actually need it to be for these cards. I'm going to do some blending down here on the table. Because I think these tassels end up a little bit better when you blend it before you place it on the block. So I'm going to grab some of these other ones from the school colors, and then you just have to lay them out as best you can, following that length pattern. This is quite the process. This one ended up awkward. Some of them are just bent into very strange shapes, but some white here. I definitely am going to leave these not threaded apart in the future. The blue one I will probably still thread apart, but the white one I will not be. I'm trying to use what I already cut and did. And then I also have some gold to lay in here for the school colors. 3 main school colors and the one that is used a lot more sparingly. The gold is the skinniest and the hardest to see, but it looks quite pretty when it's all blended in. Okay, then I'm going to layer on some more of these other colors to help fill it out a bit. Blend in some more here. More gold filament. Get more blue. Okay, so then once you've got that, I'll kind of sometimes roll it around, just looking for the right kind of blend to my tassel, because I don't want it to look blocky. And then we gently put it between the top two there, and then pull it down across the bottom. first one I tie off is I take this one that I put down the middle, and then I spin my block around because I'm going to tie off the top of the tassel first, which will tie all of these together. And then 3 or 4 knots is usually good. So this is 3. And we'll do 1 more for good measure. And then sometimes it'll pop off the block, but just slide that back down in between. And then this one here is used to create that very classic tassel top. And the way that we do that is we pull that across the top here. Using this screw, or nail, not a screw, using that one to help brace. And this one's a little bit fluffy of a tassel, so they just got an extra fluffy tassel. There's a few ties here. There we go. That creates that very classic tassel top. We bring it back around to this side, and then we use this top nail to help create our loop. This is the part that goes over the graduation cap. If you've worn a graduation cap, you should know kind of it has that button in the middle, and that's what this loop is creating, is that portion that goes over that button. Put another little tie here. There we go. And then you can pull it off of the unit. And we're going to get our scissors. And these two that were used to make the tie around the top, we need to gently clip those off. Try not to get it too close to the knot, obviously. And then the same thing with this one up here. Cut off the top, our loop portion. Move the block out of the way, and then I gently help comb out some of the awkward portions of the tassel. Just to gently pull them. Kind of decide which side I like better, which I think this one will be the top. And then and it will actually probably need to go shorter than this. I didn't quite get that very straight, so I come back in and I just play around with the edges until I think it looks somewhat right. Cutting off a lot of excess, and there will be even more cut off when it gets on the card. But that is the basics of making a tassel.